Hey everybody, it's me, the midlife YouTuber. I'm your friend, I'm your buddy, I'm your pal. We're friends to the end. Heidi ho! You know where that's from? If you do, comment down below. Speaking of which, before I get into today's topic, which is going to be why Gen X has a massive advantage over all the younger generations, do me a favor. Stop what you're doing, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know another Gen Xer who could really use this message, or who would enjoy this video, or somebody who just knows what, hey, we're friends to the end, Heidi ho, means, please do me a favor. Share it with them. Why would you share it with them? Because sharing is caring. That's right. And it is I, Midlife Bear, the greatest of all Care Bears.
Care Bears!
Who comes to you with this message about why you, as a Gen Xer, or member of the silent generation or the greatest generation, really just us three, anybody who's over, say, 47-ish, 46, I'll even go 45. It's a good number, 45. Anybody who's above 45 years old. Why do we have such an advantage over these other kids, those younger than 45? And I'm going to give you a real life example. So I run a company in my day job, and I also have my YouTube empire that I'm building. So my day job, I run a company, and I just had somebody who messaged me and said, oh, hey, this thing that happened a week ago has affected me so greatly that I cannot work for several days, and I'm sending you the workman's comp forms. Now my response was, okay, send me the forms and I'll fill them out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, however, I'm going to tell you that the incident that occurred was not life-altering, was not in any way such an insane thing that it would cause them to need workman's comp. This is also an individual who has taken off 3 other times for something along these lines, where they took off a large amount of time for a small incident. And talking to someone else who is also a Gen Xer who works for me, and I explained, well, this is what's going on, this is what happened. And this person's response to me was, are you fucking serious? That happened over a week ago and it wasn't a big deal. And they said everything was fine and it is what it is. And I said, well, yeah, no, I can't get into any specifics, obviously, and I can't get into what I explained to them. But since they are my subordinate as well, my response was, well, this is what it is. This is how we have to work around it. This is what we're going to do. And they said, well, that's ridiculous. It's bullshit. It really is just bullshit. And this kind of thing wouldn't have been tolerated when you and I were their age. We would have been told, tough shit, we're not filling out the paperwork, get back to work. And honestly, that's kind of how I would love to deal with a lot of this stuff, but I can't as someone running a company. So I deal with it in a way that legally I need to deal with it. But my first thought is always, are you serious? Are you kidding me? How is this even a thing? This is not how you should act. And I should just be able to not deal with this. But I have to deal with it. It's something that I have to do, and I do, and I work within the confines of the law, and I find myself coddling these people very often. And this is why I say Gen Xers need to make YouTube videos, because our work ethic.
That's a work ethic. Buffy, you're developing a work ethic.
I'm going to say that again. The Gen X work ethic and the work ethic of the generations that came before us is so far and away superior to what exists today that you cannot help but be successful.
Hi, we made a really successful thing on the internet and...
Say it again, slower. The Gen X work ethic and the work ethic of the older generations prior to us is so far and away superior to the work ethic of the younger generations that you cannot help but succeed.
You're not failing.
I want you to look at my channel. I want you to take me as an example. And I'm not by any way holding myself as a gold standard. I am not the most successful, or I am not even a successful YouTuber. But look at the number of videos that I have made. Are they the best videos in the world? No. But I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm progressing. With every video, I'm getting better. I firmly believe that. As a whole, if you look at my first video to this video, far and away, way better. But I have made so many videos, and the comments that I receive from people in many of the communities that I'm in is that what I'm doing is basically insane.
You're insane. Insane.
That they can't believe that I'm doing this. But it is nothing for me to make 1 or 2 videos in a day and then to throw a couple shorts on top of it, because that's my work ethic. Excuse me. I need a tasty beverage. Today's tasty beverage is brought to you by Twisted Tea. Again, not a sponsor, but if Twisted Tea wanted to send me a couple cases of their beverage to help me make amazing videos, I will give all the glory to you, Twisted Tea. You're delicious and alcoholic. And what more could I want? Now, anyway, my opinion is, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late, and late is just unacceptable. That's the way I was raised. That's the way I raised my kids. Apparently, I'm one of the only ones. Because a lot of these kids think, and by kids, I mean millennials and younger, they feel it's completely acceptable to show up at 7:05 for a start time at 7 or 7:15. Or to just not show up at all and then say, oh yeah, I was going to call you, but I was really sad this morning and I just didn't feel like coming in. I needed a mental health day. No. So I want you to take the lessons that you've learned as a child and the lessons that you watched your parents teach you through doing. Because most of us didn't learn anything. Our parents never said, this is how you live your life. We just watched our parents live our life as we were trying to survive. And we learned, and we did, because we saw how to make dinner, so we made dinner. We saw that you get up early and go to work. We had newspaper routes when we were children, 9, 10, 11 years old, on our bicycles at 5 o'clock in the morning, throwing newspapers from our bikes as we rode down the street, because we needed to make money because our parents weren't going to give us any. And if we wanted to buy candy and gum and go to the movies or get really cool bear claw spike fucking ankle destroying popular pedals for our BMX bikes, we had to buy them ourselves. The things that we wanted, we had to earn. We had to get jobs for it. Whether we mowed somebody's lawn or did a paper route or worked at the mall, we earned from the time we were children. I was mowing a lawn in a cemetery when I was 11 years old because my grandfather was the head custodian for the school.
The cemetery?
And I made $20 a week doing it. And I'm not playing that bullshit where I walked uphill both ways. I'm not making up a story. I was 11 years old in a cemetery mowing a lawn 4 days a week at a Catholic school that I didn't go to because my grandfather was a head custodian and said there was no way that his grandson was going to sit around and do nothing all summer. I worked from 5 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 days a week when I was 11 years old. And I made $20 an hour to do it. But you know what? It sucked then. It's awesome now because I've had a work ethic that nobody can touch since the time I was 11, 12 years old. This is why I say our generation needs to make YouTube channels, because we can outwork our competition. We can outthink our competition. We can make better videos, even if we don't know how to film them and how to edit them and how to do all the techie CGI, AI bullshit, voodoo magic, whatever. We can make more videos, we can make better videos, and we can relate to the stuff that the people our age need to see. And we're Now, we're not the only ones. I mean, YouTube is a full spectrum of all the ages. But the wisdom that we have, that we've learned, that has been hard fought from the time we were toddlers to now, that these kids don't know, that we can teach them. I can't tell you how many people I have taught how to change oil, how to change their tires, how to do basic automotive maintenance, how to do basic maintenance in your house. So many people that just don't know because they were never taught. They don't know. We can share that wisdom that we have with the world, and they need to know it. Everything from how to tie a tie, how to go to an interview, how to speak, how to present yourself, to how to put a nail in a board, and how to install a water heater, or how to reinstall a carburetor, or even what the fuck a carburetor is. These kids don't know. We have a vast amount of knowledge that we can share with the world, and the work ethic to put it out for the world to see. I'm not saying Gen X is the greatest generation, even though I think it because I am it. But what I'm saying is we're at that age where we have a ton of knowledge and a ton of experience, and we can share it with the world. And we have the work ethic to continually make the videos and share them with other people. And it's something that the younger generations don't have. And we know how to treat a job like a job. And we know how to treat a side gig like a job. And we know how to treat a second job like a job, because most of us have had a job and a second job and a side gig, and then stuff that we do for money every once in a while. And we're not going to talk about what we do for money. Just shh. We're not going to talk about that. But we know how to have several jobs at once. We know how to take care of ourselves, how to do, how to put the hustle in. We invented the hustle. Gen X invented that. Nobody else did. There was no such thing. Anybody who says, oh, all the kids nowadays, this Gen Alpha, these fucking whiny little bitches, they invented hustle. They don't know the first fucking thing about hustle. We were hustling when we were 8 years old. It was like 1982, and we were out riding a bike before the sun came up when it was 12 degrees outside, dodging black ice on the ground so that we could deliver the paper to Mr. Mraz, who was going to yell at us if it didn't land perfectly on his porch and not on his manicured lawn that looks like a place where golfers golf. I know nothing about golf. I know nothing about golf. I really don't know anything about golf. I hit like a golf ball twice. But you know what I'm saying. We invented the hustle. So take that hustle, put it into what you're doing, show everybody what we're made of, share the wisdom that you have earned through a lifetime of hard-fought victories. Because we weren't handed stuff. None of us were handed stuff. So you have to take, we bled for what we know. So take those scars and put them on YouTube and show everybody why we're the best and help them learn how to survive, because most of them don't know, and use your work ethic to outdo everybody else out there and just be better. So that's it, guys. That's my rant. Longer than I wanted, but it always is, because I just love doing this. I really enjoy it. So go out, cast your reel, catch your first fish. Tell me what your first fish was. Comment it down below. Like, comment, subscribe. And let me know what you guys thought about this video. I really want to know, because I really care about each and every one of you. So that's it for me, guys. Have a great day. Talk to you later.